Hey, what's up? Today we're talking about how big should your bankroll be if you want to play craps on a cruise to win a free cruise. Watch this, here we go.
Welcome to the Holy Roller, where it's all about playing craps and winning free cruises. I'm going to show you what it's all about, so let's get rolling.
All right, well, let's get into it. But before we do, check out this artwork, huh? This piece of art here, yes, we got it on a cruise for our 25th anniversary. I bought it for my wife. I don't know if you notice the old couple with the umbrella, and the reflection underneath has a younger couple holding a balloon. Oh, how special that is. And on this side, we have some photographs from Alaska. What an amazing trip that was. I would always recommend doing an Alaskan cruise if you ever get an opportunity to do so. Well, in order to get an opportunity to go on an Alaskan cruise, you can pay full price or you can play craps on a cruise to win a free cruise. But let's talk about the bankroll. How much of a bankroll do you actually need in order to win a free cruise? Now, if you watch my channel or some of my other videos for any length of time, you've probably heard me say that I got a free cruise for like $300 or $500 or $1,000. Now, it really can differ depending on your strategy, but we're going to talk about bankroll management here just for the next few minutes. I'm not sure and I'm not positive, and results vary, and consult your, this is not financial advice. I think I'm supposed to say something like that. Okay, got that covered. Check. Now, I would say that the first thing you want to determine is what your strategy is going to be per shooter. What I mean by this is how much money are you going to put on the table to bet during each shooter. For example, if you're just going to play the 6 and 8 and put $12 on the 6 and 8 for each shooter, that's $25. Or 24, 12 and 12. Get that dollar change, put it on a hard way. So $25 per shooter, what would that end up being for one session? What kind of bankroll would you need for that one session? Now, when it comes to sessions, we always recommend to do at least 1 hour, if not 2. 3 hours would be perfect, and of course 4 hours would be better. But for the sake of this video, we're going to be talking about the 10 shooter rule. Now, what this means is pretty much if you're going to use $25 per shooter, then you want to have enough money in your bankroll for 10 shooters. So if you're going to put $25 out each time somebody shoots the dice, then you're going to want to have 10 times 25, which is $250 for that session. Now, if you're planning to do one session per night on a 7-night cruise, then you would want to have $250 times 7 for your bankroll. That is a basic 10 shooter expectation for each session. $250 per session if you're going to bet $25 per shooter. Now, I know what you could be thinking. You could be thinking, wow, this could be expensive and get expensive really quick, but it all determines on how much money you're willing to bet on each shooter. So that's what we call the 10 shooter expectation. Whatever your average bet is that you're going to be putting on the table for each roller times 10, make sure to have enough at least for 10 rollers. Now, if you have heard of our light in the darkness strategy that we do here, we put a certain amount on the don't pass line, and then we hedge that with what we put out on the main bet, meaning if we did the 6 and 8 for $12 each, we would have $25 on the don't pass. Now, what that does is it gives us a chance, if we get past that come out roll where we get no 7 or 11, then we have our don't pass set for $25. We put $24 out on the 6 and 8. If the 7 comes before we hit a couple 6s and 8s, we just get our money back. The other thing that does is it raises our average bet from $25 to $50. Now, it is a risky kind of bet, and I don't recommend doing it all the time, but it's a way to have a higher average bet, maybe hedge your bet a little bit and be able to play longer at the table. And that's what it's all about. More time at the table using less money. Now, this strategy wins slow, but it also loses slow. If you want to watch that strategy, I'll link it up right here so you can watch it some other time. Now, I see people all the time come up to the craps table with $100, and if they have $100, what they should do is just bet $10. That would be their maximum bet per shooter so that they can at least get through 10 shooters. But many times what happens is they buy in with $100, they put $25 out, which means their bankroll's only allowing them for 4 shooters. They come up to the table, they may win a little, lose a little, but it happens quick and they don't get enough comp points to actually win a free cruise anyway. So what about a bankroll when we're talking about a free cruise bankroll expectation? Now what this means is if you want to win a cruise that would cost $1,500, then I would recommend not bringing more than $1,500 for the entirety of the cruise. Now if you're planning to do 10 sessions with that $1,500, that would be $150 per session, which would actually mean you have $15 per shooter. Now you might say, I don't understand how that works. How can I only play $15 per shooter? Well, let me explain how you can make that work. So let's say, for example, you put $15 out on the 5 and the 5 rolls and you make $21 from that one hit. So you're actually up $6 and the $15 is still out there for this shooter. Now, if the 5 hits one more time, you'll have an extra $12 that you can actually put on the 6 or the 8. Let me jump over to the table and show you how that works. All right, let's say you put the $15 on the 5 and the 5 rolls. If the 5 rolls, you're going to get paid $21. You get your $15 back, so you put this back in your rack, and then you have $6. You wait for your second hit. If it hits again, you get another $21. Technically, you add the 6 to it, and you'll be able to have more of maybe a $12 6. And you can put another $15 away for the next shooter. The next shooter, instead of 15, you can actually have 30 and maybe do the 5 and 9 on the next shooter. So let's say, for example, out of this $15, we were able to win all of this money on this shooter, which means that we would have our original $15 back. So let's pull that aside. And then this becomes all profit for this shooter. So this is $25, $30, $35, $40, $2. Now, if you wanted to simply add $2 more, and for $2, you could be in on a shooter for 44 inside. And what that would be is $10, $12, $12, and $10, 44 inside. And technically for 44 inside, with that scenario we just talked about, this 44 inside would have cost you $2. Now let's say you do that 44 inside for one shooter and then you lose. I would always recommend just starting back over with your 15 and wait for your $21 hit. And once you do that, then put your 15 back into your rack, and that way this is free money. So then another hit happens and you get another $21. So then we put 12 of it on the 6, for example, take the other 15, put it on the 9, or if you're at a $10 table, because this is 12, you can throw in $2, take 5 off of here, 5 off of here, and then you have your 44 inside for $2. Basically, that's how you can stay at the table longer and get more points with your bankroll. All right, hopefully that helps. Now let's talk about the bankroll total versus how many nights you're on the cruise or how many sessions you will be playing. Now, when it comes to bankroll, one thing that we use this channel for is to build our bankroll and help others get on a free cruise with their bankroll. So in the description, I have where you can support our bankroll and our giveaways. One of the things we do is we actually have a cruise like dealer of the cruise, and we give them a special prize. One thing that's not really known about the cruise dealers is not only that are they on the ship for like 5 months or 6 months at a time, they actually have to pay for their internet service to be able to call home or connect with their family. So one thing that we love to do is we love to present like the dealer of the cruise for the Holy Roller channel. And I might record these if I can, but the idea is we give them a data card that they can actually have a data card so they can connect with their family. This costs about $50. So this is one of the things that you can contribute to, not only our bankroll, but our giveaways that we give away to the dealers, which is like a little special gift and a way to honor them for their great service. Because a lot of people don't realize that when you do bet for the dealers or tip the dealers, it's actually split between every single dealer in the entire casino. So yeah, they love it when you bet for them or give them tips. That's great. But if you can give them something special like internet access, The thing is, they would have to ask their pit boss if they can receive that gift from you, but it's really an awesome gift, and so we love to give those away. And so that's when we say giveaways, support our bankroll and our giveaways, that's what we're talking about in our description. All right, let's get back to it. Now, each and every night you can expect that the casino will be open and you'll be playing at least one session per night. 7-night cruise equals 7 sessions. Now, when you're at a port, the casino will be closed, and so you won't be able to play during the day. It will most likely open after dinner. However, what's called sea days, when you're at sea, not having a port day that day, the casino would be open during the day. Now, that doesn't mean that the craps table or all the tables will be open, but definitely the slot machines will be open, but we're not playing slots, so let's not even talk about that. Now, the determining factor on whether the craps table is open on a sea day during the day really has to do with whether the cruise casino has enough craps dealers or not, or if there's enough demand for people to actually be there. If you're ever on a sea day and the craps table's not open, you can always talk to one of the casino managers and ask them, hey, what time will the craps table open? And they'll be happy to share that with you. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because you may have a 7-night cruise with 2 sea days, so you might have 7-night sessions, but then 2-day sessions, so 9 or 10 sessions altogether. Now, again, I know I say this a lot, but I do want to reiterate, when I'm talking about a session, we want to play at least 1 hour, so a lot of times each night, whenever you go up to the craps table, you want to play your entirety of the night during that one session. Some people would say, well, if the table's cold or if the table's not rolling, I'm not going to stand there and just play. I'm going to leave and I'll come back later. Although that can happen where the table is not working at all and you kind of don't want to be there, I would recommend that you at least stay there, and you don't have to bet every time, maybe just a couple bets, or maybe even hedging both sides for a minute until the table turns around, because you don't want to just leave and then come back later, because remember, if you do that, your average bet and time at the table, your points, go way down. Now again, let's get back to this average cruise cost that determines your bankroll. $1,500 for an average interior stateroom bankroll. This would be for about 800 points according to the current cruise promotion. You're always going to want to check with the current cruise promotion by going and talking to the casino host, or simply by going over to the cashier area and looking for the current cruise promotion. Now, perhaps your strategy is 110 across, and so then you need to have $110 times 10. Now, that would be around $1,000 per session, and if there's 7 sessions, that means your bankroll would be $7,000. Now, does that make sense? Well, when it comes to the free cruise bankroll expectation, meaning that you don't want your bankroll to be bigger than the cost of the cruise, then what you're doing at that moment is you're going for a balcony stateroom, 4,000 points instead of 800 or 1,000. You want to get 4,000 points. This means you'll bring up the value of your comped cruise. That comped cruise would be worth more like $5,000 to $7,000. And I'm pretty confident that if you use some of the strategies we use, or are able to stay at the table for a length of time each and every session, I'm sure that you'll be able to get, with $7,000, I'm sure you're able to definitely get at least 4,000 to 5,000 points in the duration of the cruise. But remember, it's all about bankroll management, time at the table versus average bet. That's what it's all about. Now let's talk about having a stop loss in your bankroll management. Now, most people would say, why would you have a stop loss? If my bankroll for this session is $250, then I'm going to play $250, and it's either $250 and beyond, or it's 0. That's when I'll stop. I'm not gonna have a stop loss. But let's talk about what I mean when I say stop loss. So imagine you have a $1,500 bankroll that you split throughout each night. Say you're gonna do 10 sessions, so that's $150 per session. This is what I would recommend to do. Buy in for your entire bankroll of $1,500 and then only use $150 for that session. If you're up, great. If you're down, you're only down $150, and then cash out so that you can maintain your budget and your bankroll for the next sessions. So basically what I'm saying is each and every night or each and every session, buy in for your entire bankroll and then just use whatever you're going to use for that session. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because one time I bought in for $300 and I played my strategy and I stayed for 3 hours. I got around 300 points for that session. Another time I bought in for $1,000, played the same strategy with $300, stayed for the same amount of time, 3 hours, and I got 700 points for that session. So I used the same strategy, played for the same amount of time. The only difference was that I bought in for a higher price and I got more points for that. Now, is it the case all the time? No, probably not. But there is an opportunity or a chance that it might work like that. So that's why I would recommend that. I hope that makes sense. Now, if you're going to buy in for your entire bankroll and have a stop loss, like if you're going to buy in for $1,500 and only play for $150, this is going to take some discipline. So make sure to have discipline, strategy, bankroll management. Discipline, strategy, bankroll management. Discipline, strategy, bankroll management. All right, let's talk about points versus bankroll. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I try to say it on all my videos. The way the points work is average bet and time at the table. Those are formulated to work together, and so it doesn't matter how much money you lose. It doesn't mean you're getting a lot of points. It also doesn't matter how much money you win. Winning more money doesn't mean that you get more points. It's time at the table and average bet determine points. Got it? Now, when it comes to determining your average bet, and this goes for all casinos, I think it's very important to know that whenever you bet odds, it does not count according to your comp value. Now imagine if you put $25 on the pass line and $50 on your odds, that is still not $75 average bet. That's only $25 average bet because odds don't count according to your comp value. Now, if you play a strategy like a 3-point molly or using the come and playing full odds, only the flat or the pass line or the flat bet is what counts as your average, not your odds. Now, whenever I do this, they always ask me, you going to play odds? And they're like, no odds, no glory, no odds, no glory. And I always say, you guys don't pay me for odds. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, I'm here to play for points, not for money. And that raises some eyebrows. Why would you play if you're not playing for money? Well, if I'm trying to take $300 to win a $4,500 cruise, I'm playing for the comp value in the cruise, not for the money I can make off of $300. Now, if I make the cruise and make some money with my $300, that's a win-win, but I'm definitely trying to play for the cruise. Now, some people might say you should never play craps just for comp value because it's not the good play slots. That's where you'll get good comps. Now, all those slots can be quicker to accumulate points, and it's very trackable, meaning that every $5 you put in, you get 1 point. For me, it's just so volatile and it can go either way. You can even put $100 in and get 20 points, or you could put $100 in and play over and over and over and maybe get 100 points out of $100. But I love the game of craps, and I would rather play the game of craps more than any other game in the entire casino. But I'm also of the opinion that craps has the best player advantage if you really know what you're doing at the game of craps. Now, some people might say, no, Brian, it's blackjack. Blackjack has the best player advantage. Now, I could be wrong, but I think blackjack has a better casino advantage than a player advantage based on the amount of blackjack tables there are everywhere. And I can hear people already know they have a lot of blackjack tables because a lot of people like to play blackjack. And I think a lot of people like to play blackjack because they think it has the best player advantage. But I've won a lot more money at the craps table than I won at a blackjack table, that's for sure. But hey, I'm not here to debate. Let's get on with the video. So how many points can you expect to get with your bankroll? Now I'm going to give you a very conservative point value for your bankroll, but remember this has to do with if you're staying and playing, not stepping up to the table for 20 minutes and leaving. This is for like at least a 2 hour. Let's talk about that 2 hour session. We're going to do a 2 hour session and we're going to talk about 5 sessions, $500, 500 points. So basically what I mean is if you have $500 and you have 5 sessions, which means that you're going to do $100 per session for at least 2 hours per session, I would say after all 5 sessions, you would probably have 500 points. Now, can it be more? Yes. However, I think if that's what you plan on, I think that would probably be really good. Let me know in the comments if I'm off or on when you try this. I would love to know. I would always track the amount of time I play and my bankroll so that I can determine how many points I'm getting per session. And I always recommend to actually do this. Track your bankroll, meaning how much you're buying in for, what your average bet is, and you can ask them, but they're not supposed to tell you what your average bet is. So it's better if you just try to calculate your average bet, meaning how much money are you playing per shooter. Also, track how much time your session is and always go by the hour. So if I play 1 hour and then I'm going into that second hour, I'm gonna stay for that second complete hour. And if I go into that third hour, I'm gonna stay for the entirety of that third hour. Mainly because I wanna track each hour as it goes. It's too hard to track like an hour and 20 minutes. And then finally, not only am I going to track my buy-in, my average bet, my time at the table, but I'm also going to track what did I color up or color down with at the end of my session. Now remember, when it comes down to it, it's all about bankroll management, and that's why this video is all about bankroll. But know that I would always recommend to ask after each session, ask the casino host, how many points did you receive for that session? Then you can determine if you want to stay another hour on each session to make a little bit more. Remember, we want to do this each and every night or after each and every session because you're going to want to track your progress to see how close you are to that complimentary free cruise offer. The worst thing you can do is wait until the last day to find out how many points you got per session and then be that close to getting a free cruise and not even realize it, and then not have enough time to spend a whole session to get there. Now, if that's ever the case and you don't have enough time to do another session to get to the next level or the next tier for a free cruise offer, that's the time where I would recommend maybe going over to the slots, putting some money in, and trying to get your points to the next level. Ooh, is that Brian recommending playing slots? Okay, I did it.